Round 7 of recording this video. Hopefully this one will be a lot shorter. Um, Also, I apologize for my lack of presentation. It's summertime and I work 3 jobs, so you gotta do assignments when you can. Okay, this is for Module 2 discussion board. So for part 1, there's a few questions within that, so I'm going to kind of read them off as I go. First part of part 1 is how we work grades and the grading process in your classroom. So I would like to have some sort of online system like Canvas or Blackboard so that I can easily enter in grades and they're all in one place. If I do not have something like that, I'm also okay with doing like a physical grade book because I like to write things down by hand. So either way would work for me. I also think that we should keep in mind as new teachers that not every single assignment has to be graded. Um, Not only does that relieve some stress on the teacher's part, but I think it relieves some stress on the student's part as well because there's just not that pressure to receive a good grade on everything and they can focus more on learning what they need to from that particular assignment, if that makes sense. Um, Also, I kind of stole this from Josh, although I've done it before in high school. I would like to occasionally let students grade each other's work if at all possible. I think I enjoyed that in school. I thought it was fun that we could like take time away from class and just grade. Like I actually enjoyed it. So I think that's something I want to implement in my classroom. Question 2 of part 1 is how will you keep students informed on their progress during the grading term? Like I said, would love to be able to have something like Canvas or Blackboard where students can access their grades at any point in time that they choose to do so. If I do not have that, I think I would give out either biweekly or monthly progress reports so that a student kind of knows where they stand in the class. And I also just want to be encouraging as a teacher for students to come up and ask me themselves for their grades if they're curious. I don't think we should withhold that information from students if they genuinely care about how they're doing in my class. How will achievement be monitored and recorded during the grading period? For me, I think achievement varies between completion of assignments, doing what is asked of the assignments, um, and participation in the classroom. So it's one thing to complete an assignment. It's another thing to actually do what is asked or required of you in an assignment. So for me, I would definitely provide rubrics so that there is a list of objectives that students know that they have to meet to receive a certain grade. For participation, I want to hand out some sort of guideline at the beginning of the school year that explains what participation looks like in my classroom. And for those students who don't actively participate daily because maybe they don't like talking in front of others or whatever the reason may be, I want to have those specific, like Socratic seminars and planned group discussions so students know, if their participation isn't great regularly, they have a chance within those planned days to, participate, speak out, do whatever is required of them as far as participation goes. How will effort and knowledge be weighed in your grade? Oh, I skipped one. No, I didn't. I didn't skip one. How will effort and knowledge be weighed in your grading? I think effort should always outweigh knowledge. So knowledge can only really be achieved with some sort of effort, I would say. So, sometimes students may miss the mark of retrieving all of the knowledge that's asked of them. But if the genuine effort is there and students are studying or doing what they need to put an effort to try to do well in your class, they deserve credit for that. And that will also encourage them to work harder for nailing down the knowledge aspect, I would say. How does good or bad behavior affect grading? Behavior should not be considered in grading whatsoever. Um, I think a behavior has to be addressed and worked on in class. It's still an important part of classroom management, but as far as assignments and completion of work goes, should not be a factor. And my own personal feelings as a teacher about Billy Bob's behavior today, whether it was good or bad, maybe he did exceptional and I'm like, oh, let me give him all the A's. Or maybe he had a really bad day and gave me a hard time and I'm like, oh, let me give him an F. You can't do that. So I think for me, I would probably hide students' names. Um, and just I can't even think about what they did in class today. I have to look at the work right in front of me because otherwise I just don't think that would be fair. Okay, that was part one. So part two, which is the choice question. Um, so I chose the question: what procedures would you establish in your classroom to help support classroom management? Firstly, I would assign roles to students, whether that changes daily, weekly, monthly, I don't know, but students would have a chance to be different roles. So maybe I would have a couple students selected to pass out papers or assignments or be like a group facilitator. I mean, there's so many different roles you can assign to students, and most of them are pretty happy to be given some sort of responsibility. Um, I also would like to have a timer for transitions because I think transitions can be difficult for students sometimes, especially, it's a long day and going from one activity to the other is not always smooth. But if you have a timer, then everyone knows that they have to get to that next thing before the timer's over. I also would like to have a physical, huge calendar in my class that has assignments written down and due dates and what we're going over in class. Obviously, if I have something like Canvas or Blackboard, I would have that online as well, but I want to have one physically in class in case someone can't log onto a computer that day or doesn't have a computer. Also, I think I'd want to do hand signals. I found this online and I thought it was really interesting. So rather than, having everyone raise their hand when they need something, developing hand signals, like let's say you put a one up, you need to go to the bathroom, two, you need water or a tissue, three, you need a pencil, five, like raising your hand, you actually need help. So this would significantly minimize distraction in class and save a lot of time so that I don't have to verbally address people for little things. Like if someone needs to go to the bathroom, give me the finger. I will, give you a little head nod, like, okay, go use the bathroom, go do what you gotta do, and not have to stop class for it. And for classroom management, I'd also like to have turn-in trays so that when students are handing in different types of assignments, whether it's like a test or homework, whatever, that it's already physically split up for me. So I'm already like halfway there with the organization part of it. And lastly, I want to greet students at the door because I think it's important to be a smiling face to a student. And classroom management goes way beyond just being organized. It has a lot to do also with behavior and stuff. And if you can start off class on that positive note before they even get in the door, I think that could really help with classroom management. And that is the end of my Module 2 discussion board. Thank you for watching.